Hello, everybody! Oh my god, I hope this is working. Give me 1 second to make sure everything is copacetic. I've got the chat below me on a different computer. Boy, I didn't expect it to be so difficult to have to do this all at once. Hey everybody, it's me, Joseph Rothschild, aka MBT, and today we are performing an undertaking. As you know, coronavirus has absolutely destroyed the entirety of American, European, and basically every other nation's life. It's absolutely just completely decimated the way we do things, and unfortunately, as Yu-Gi-Oh players, one of the things we do the most is play Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is, at its core, a social game. It's a game about coming together and bonding over the shared experience of staring at a Mystic Mine for 45 minutes. But unfortunately, we've been robbed of that by, the disgusting virus that is rampaging, all across the world. So I thought I would, bring you a little bit of that right now. I would do my best, to encapsulate the Mystic Minian experience for you, so you don't have to leave the safety of your relative quarantines, and you can watch some Yu-Gi-Oh! This way. So, the other day I announced on my channel a 64 individual tournament that filled up within a matter of seconds. My bad, did not know there was such a demand. Potentially if we do another of these, it'll be much larger, but don't hold your breath. It'll all be contingent on exactly how this one pans out. So behave if you want this to happen again. The results so far as to what is being played have been shocking. Almost everyone is taking this seriously. I think there's one troll deck, and even then, calling it a troll deck is like maybe offensive, akin to a racial slur. There is a ton of really cool stuff that people are playing, and most importantly, the format we're playing today is a format that is not going to exist in any other capacity ever. It's Dual Overload is legal, and Master Rule 4 is in effect. So for those of you that don't know, the Master Rule we play by changes. I think the community consensus is that we're calling it Master Rule 5. Master Rule 4 2020 revision. Either way, on April 1st, Synchro and Fusion and Xyz monsters will be able to put in main monster zones at any period in the game. This is going to radically change how we play Yu-Gi-Oh! Because as you'll see today, a lot of the decks that are doing very well are decks that will benefit from this change. So ideally, there will be a very big ban list to follow. Unfortunately, it's really hard to make a ban list about what specifically Dual Overload makes viable if you don't have any data as to what's good as a result of Dual Overload's release. So because of that, we're hosting this tournament to get a handle. Some of the really interesting stuff that I'm excited to see from Dual Overload is, first and foremost, Crystron Halqifibrax. I mean, there is no getting around it. Needle Fiber has been region locked for so long, and when it came out, it was critical to so many different strategies. It just absolutely decimated the way that we currently play Yu-Gi-Oh! And then the metagame changed. At this point, I think Halqifibrax is a very good card that will be featured in a ton of decks, but not necessarily the game changer that we thought it was going to be on first release, you know? Good cards have already been released for a lot of these archetypes that were kind of hurting for a link and could incidentally play Halqifibrax, and a lot of the really broken things you can do are just no longer available as the result of a couple of ban lists passing. Union Carrier is another huge one. Union Carrier enables two extremely degenerate things. The first, of course, is the fact that if you equip the Buster Blader, I think it's Destruction Sword is the name of the card, one of the little dragons with a sword in its mouth, you can domain lock your opponent from any position. Any deck that just has the material to go into Union Hanger at the end of the combo can just end on specifically a domain lock, and, you know, if you're going first, that's very powerful. You know, look at how Winda has upended the metagame, and it's not even as strong as that. So we will definitely be seeing a fair amount of that today. And finally, a card that I don't think a lot of people had their sights set on, but everyone who did knows exactly what they're doing with it. I'm talking about not Verte Anaconda, which is shockingly only in a few decks because we don't have Dragoon yet, but the Mecha Phantom Beast Link. Now, the Mecha Phantom Beast Link summons like 3 tokens when it first comes out, which is just a recipe for disaster. Now, you can't link summon with a bunch of the stuff, but a lot of really powerful machine combo decks are going to be playing this. So I'm very excited to see at least one person has brought the Mecha Phantom Beast Turbo Link. Link Turbo deck. And the things they're going to accomplish with it, knowing this player, are going to be absolutely immaculate. So let me take you, I have a little bit of a pre-show plan. Not a ton. Probably I'll keep rambling for between 10 or 15 more minutes. Then I will put you back to the non-copyright playlist, which I hope is true to its name and doesn't get me banned off of Twitter or Twitch or YouTube or Grindr. And we will we'll put up pairings and be ready then. So let's go to this. Oh, it worked! It worked! All right. So this is the deck breakdown for what we are playing here today. And you'll notice that the largest segment, of course, is in fact Pandemic Dragon. There are a ton of extra decks in here. The decks that are named only comprise, I think, 28 of the 64 lists. There are tons of different archetypes and strategies represented at 2, tons represented at singletons. A lot of really strong one-tricks jumped on this opportunity to play their deck before either the ban list or Master Rule 5 gets to them and changes absolutely everything. We are, the unrepresented decks in this chart that are of note are Salamangreat is represented at 2, Zombie is represented at 2, Spiral is represented at 2, would have been happy to see more of that just because it's such a strong deck. But you'll notice that the top represented deck is Lunalight. Now, I think it's fair to say that we're in a format right now where the top 3 decks could probably be characterized as Salamangreat, Lunalight, and Spiral, not necessarily in that order. However, one of those 3 got 2 massive upgrades as a result of Dual Overload. You've got Lunalight having access to not only Raid Raptor Wise Strix, which enables a ton of absolutely degenerate combo plays, but also Simorgh Divine Bird of Ancestry, which enables either, depending on what you aim to do with it, the ability to get a Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds to your side of the field, or I think, and you can correct me on this, chat, you're ever so good at it, it is integral to the Infinite Negate combo, which at least one person is representing, in which you are able to use the effect of Apex Avian to bounce a card that specials itself repeatedly over and over to negate everything your opponent does. Skull Servant percentage, it's just you, Chelix. You are the only one playing it. Earlier when I was talking about the one troll deck, that would be you. In Australia, all non-essential stuff just got shut down a couple of hours ago. How is it where you are? Same deal here. In the United States, basically every major city has been curbed to essential personnel only, and as a result, I think it's a good time for us all to come together to enjoy the hobby we love, because it's not like we're going to be doing much else. So Lunalight, of course, the deck to watch coming out of this. One extremely powerful thing the deck has access to I haven't mentioned yet is Artifact Dagda. Now, Artifact Dagda is the artifact link. When it's summoned, you're able to set an artifact from your deck, and of course the best artifact in the game is Scythe. So if you set Scythe, and then as a result of Lunalight combos, as the deck that is most apt at doing this, you make a rank 4, that is Tornado Dragon, you can start your opponent's turn with Scythe, plus any Lunalight stuff you go through over the course of the turn. So maybe you end on something like Apollousa, your opponent can't summon from the extra deck Tornado Dragon. That's probably enough to win the game, but even if it isn't, you essentially have access to, via Wise Strix, something like a Cyber Dragon Infinity, maybe a Simorgh into a Stormwinds. I mean, you can just put up an absolutely unbelievable amount of negates, or floodgates, as it were. How many no-shows are there? None yet. We've worked really hard to get 64 players who are all committed to playing. We kicked out about 10 yesterday. Thank you for the subscription, Chibi Gohan. What a way to celebrate my 2-month anniversary here. Chibi Gohan will be playing in today's tournament. We are also playing... There's also 6 Dinosaur. Now, these Dinosaur decks vary wildly. 3 of them are True King Dino, just aiming to combo off into something like a True King of All Calamities, and use the newly unbanned Lithiosagam, big old boy, to to destroy Earth monsters, rip things out of your opponent's extra deck. Very important in a right after a set release that's almost entirely extra deck monsters. And of course, just attack very, very hard. However, there is one individual playing a dinosaur deck. I won't tell you their name, but anyone who knows them can guess. They're playing Paleozoic Dinosaur. This is my favorite version of the deck. You've seen it topping locals and regionals. I don't think it has like a ton of premier tops yet, but it's not like it's going to get them in this environment. It uses cards like Survival's End and Lost World to go mad plus an advantage and blank huge portions of its opponent's deck. It's extremely strong, and I'm really, really happy to see it pop off. Invoked, we have a couple of different variants. Invoked Shaddoll, of course, is incredibly powerful, but we've also got a couple of players playing Invoked Mech Knight. Mech Knights are a deck to beat in this upcoming format for sure. We've got 3 individuals on Endymion, no surprise there. Besto deck Pendulum. One of them is probably going to make it to finals and win the whole thing, they're gonna, in a deck overview, they're gonna pull the mask off their face and reveal that they are Triff. Hero at 5% as well. And really nothing to say about this. The deck is absolutely set in stone. You're playing between 40 and 45 cards, and anyone can guess with probably about 90% accuracy what those cards are going to be. Orcust at 50, or at 5 as well. Extremely powerful deck. Got Union Carrier locks as a result of this Duelist Overload set, and Trains at 5. Just incredible. I mean, incredible to see Trains not only being represented, but being represented at such an unreal rate. And I'm not going to lie, that's due in part to Peeps Yu-Gi-Oh!, one of the individuals playing today, who was recently featured on Deceiv's channel, showing the explosive power of Trains, but he is not the only one who has brought it. 512 players next time? Oh, maybe not. How about Thunder? There are 2 individuals playing Thunder Dragon. It's a Verte Anaconda combo deck, and I'm really, really excited to feature them at some point. With the deck breakdown out of the way, let's take a look at the duelists to beat. There are a fair amount of them. Let me ensure that this is working correctly. One of the joys of live casting. I'm clicking too fast. Oh well, you will have to wait for a second. I've caused my entire computer to freeze. There we go. Oh boy. If only I was streaming from the PPG setup, this wouldn't be happening. Alright. So we are going to port you over here. Let me see if this works. Hey, it did! So there's 6 individual players to watch that I've highlighted. 5, I mean. Did I say 6? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, is stream down? Is stream down, chat? Oh, no. I flew too close to the sun. Why is that? You are correct that stream is down. Alright, it should be back up now. Yeah. Oh, just a result of trying to do too many things from a single computer setup. Again, I don't have a any type of competent streaming setup for a tournament of this magnitude. I'm really just flying by the seat of my pants here, just as a result of lack of general material. Okay, so first up is Sir Eminon. Now, Sir Eminon, for those of you that don't know, you can go to youtube.com right now and check out his channel. Sir Eminon's an incredibly good duelist, one of the very few Yu-Gi-Tubers who's like actually good at Yu-Gi-Oh! This doesn't happen often, so pretty exciting to have one of them in my tournament. Usually Yu-Gi-Tubers tend to be like my level of skill, like 0. They are well known for making a ton of content about in-depth Lunalight combos. So a lot of the combo theory that you see developed about Lunalights is either developed in part or showcased by Sir Eminon specifically. He was a huge resource when I was trying to get into the deck just to know the ins and outs and what I should be stopping. They are playing Dagda combos, so we will be looking at them very early to see how these pan out. And unfortunately, has absolutely revealed to me that they will be forcing me to do a Penguin 10-minute testing. That is a 10-minute testing with cards like No Penguin, Nightmare Penguin, Bolt Penguin. So please don't let them win. I'm just asking you right now. Next up is Peeps Yu-Gi-Oh! Peeps Yu-Gi-Oh! Peepsygo on Twitch is a streamer. Recently featured on Deceif's channel, which is fine, you know. You want to be featured on a YouTuber's channel, that's fine. You can just go to Deceif, no big deal. They are a Train player. They play almost exclusively Train, and oh my goodness, they're very, very good at it. Train, I think by a lot of people, is thought to be just an unga bunga beatdown deck. Peeps has shown that you can integrate extremely difficult combo lines into it and have massive success. I play against him on stream very often. I think I'm 1-12. The one win was on Witchcrafter, so do with that what you will. That's Peeps. Please check them out as well. Next is Burrito Man 93. Burrito Man 93 is an incredibly good player. Multiple YCS tops under his belt. There's actually a deck profile from a couple of formats ago on my channel with him. Ernesto is his first name. You can find him from there. He is an absolute genius when it comes to Sky Striker. Obviously, Sky Striker isn't a deck that requires a lot of deck building prowess, but no one's in-game decision making in that deck is as good as Burrito's is. He also happens to be the architect of almost every online tournament that you've ever played. He just like kind of has his fingers in multiple pies in terms of hosting and running like challenge tournaments. He's playing in this one, and I'm very happy to have him. Keep an eye on him as well. He is not playing Striker. In fact, he is playing something else, and I'm really excited to show you what it is. Next, we've got this guy. Yup, he made it in. I just, oh man, I cannot believe that this individual was able to make it into the tournament. Again, it filled up in seconds. This man's APM is unreal. He divined that I was going to host the tournament and then clicked it absolutely immediately. I don't know how to tell you this. The dude can just see the future. He has been imbued with an extreme prowess for Yu-Gi-Oh! As a result of his, I don't know, many years upon this earth. I'm talking, of course, about Jeff Leonard, the Jeff Leonard, PPGYGO mini celebrity, Mystic Mine player extraordinaire, and One Trick. Both he and his son, with whom he plays a ton, are both in the tournament. His son playing Spiral, a classic pick from that individual, and Jeff, I mean, you know what Jeff's playing. I'll give you one guess. Again, oh man. So we'll check in with Jeff at some point. Probably not round one, but maybe in finals, I think. Jeff, unfortunately, is not going to be able to take advantage of one of the big, giant benefits of Mystic Mine, which is Cauldron of the Old Man has made it excessively easy to win in time. And there's no time in this tournament because YGO Pro Percy is what we're playing on, and because that individual client has a timer within it, it's going to be hard for him to think really hard about Goddess of Skulds Oracle locks. The good news is this is the only individual playing Mystic Mine. So you're only going to see one Mystic Mine here today, and it's Jeff. You know what they say, wrestle with Jeff, prepare for death. Finally, Rogue Theory is also in this tournament as well. Chiswick, I hope they're saying their last name right. They are a PPG mini celebrity as well. If you remember them from our invitational tournament, they played MathMech on feature, and unfortunately did not go very far, just as a result of MathMech being relatively new and being not all the way practiced in the combos. They, I think, bubbled at that tournament after everyone had spent 3 weeks saying MathMech was absolutely garbage. So going 6-3 at a tournament like that was incredible. Check out their YouTube as well. It's Rogue Theory. One of their videos is an interview with me about me playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And I know you just all love listening to me. He is playing a really terrible deck, but if anyone can make a bad deck play well, it's got to be Max. He's an exceptionally good player, knows his combo theory inside and out, and really, really, really excited for that. Ugh. So that is that in terms of players to watch. We were going to have Nim, but he ducked out at the last minute. Something came up. Excited we could get all of these big names together. One, with huge APM, and two, during this really uncertain time. You know, I know a lot of individuals, myself included, are kind of on the ground trying to get job applications for like Hy-Vee and Walmart as the only stores that are open, and it's nice that we can all take a little bit of time out of our day on Sunday to play this game we all love together. So we have about 10 minutes until the first round is up. I am going to head back to the to Ye Old Screen. That's just a slideshow between the title card and the deck breakdown. We'll probably be gone for about 10 minutes. After that, get excited because that's when the tournament proper starts. Before I go, however, I am going to post a straw poll for what you want to see first. Now, we've got 4 really exciting matches, and we can only feature one of them at any given time. So we've got Mecha Phantom Beast Link Turbo versus Invoked Shadow. We've got a Lunalight Raid Raptor Mirror featuring Sir Eminon. We've got a DDD player, that is the new DDD list, featuring, or with, against Paleozoic Frog, and we've got Mystic Mine. So let me know which one you want to do. I will be posting the straw poll link when the 30-second delay is up. I will see you in 10. Sit tight. Hey everybody, and welcome to round 1 of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Quarantine series. Now, you've been very specific about who you want to see this round, and I'm happy to announce we will be seeing our first DDD player of the Do-Of era, trying to pick up the pieces of several different computers here so I can keep it all in front of us. But it's going to be DDD versus Paleozoic Frog. So I am just now getting into Spectate Client, and I should be able to view these two immediately. So I'm just waiting for them to click duel. I want to see who's on which side, and it looks like I have guessed wrong. Ah, dang it. Okay, well, we'll transition over there real quick, and here's round 1. All right, so this should look correct, but do let me know if it doesn't. Yeah, that looks fine. So Nosepass 101 is on DDD. Toadstool Tad, I believe, is on Paleozoic Frog. So DDD gets a fair amount out of Duelist Overload. It's got, of course, access to the extremely powerful DDD Gilgamesh, and maybe I have these incorrect. Nosepass 101 wouldn't be playing DDD and setting 5 cards, would he? Unless he's about to flip an Allure of Darkness. Let's see it with no cards in hand. You occasionally do end up with hands like this in DDD that just don't do anything. And, oh, this one really doesn't do anything. There we go. Maybe, I might actually just straight up have them wrong. Oh, no. No, yeah, this is Toadstool Tad. Whoa. This is not a great opening for DDD. You know, certainly you would prefer if you're the DDD player. Oh, I see. Okay, I do have them completely wrong. Excellent. All right, let me get in and change that real quick. Oh, gosh. I was gonna say, this is a very interesting DDD open. Set 5 pass? That's what they aim to do, right? There we go. Should be good now. Alright, so, I've taken a look at the DDD list, and, it's extremely interesting. You know, DDD is kind of set in stone in terms of what their deck lists actually look like. You know, you don't actually get to play a whole bunch of cards that are particularly different than each other. You want to max out on all of your Savant, your Swirl Slimes, your Necro Slimes, your Savant Keplers, and your Copernicuses, and maybe your Ragnaroks as well. From that position, you're basically just playing 3 of the ever-searchable individual card Contract with the Dark Master, I believe, and Contract with the Swamp King you play one of as well. You play Allure of Darkness, and after that you've got maybe 4 flex slots. They're usually using them for something like Glow Up Bulb now, because they can go into Halqifibrax combos. Sometimes Percy switches the names in replays. Well, clearly that is what has happened. Yeah, Toadstool Tad is the frog player, you're correct. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to write frog like this. We're going to write DDD like this. And you're just going to have to remember who's who. All right. So we're seeing an activation of Paleozoic Morella in order to special summon back this copy of Paleozoic Canadia. They're sending a copy of Paleozoic Deinamiscus. This is one of the things that Paleo excels at, of course, the ability to just send a whole bunch of cards to the graveyard at once in order to facilitate setups for next turn. Unfortunately, I just hate summoning something like a Canadia while my opponent hasn't gone to battle phase. I mean, Genghis is going to make quick work of this card unless we have a second copy of Canadia. If it's in defense position, he's telegraphing he doesn't have something like a Lost Wind. There's Savant Kepler, and wow, that is just such a critical card to resolve. When this card is normal or special summoned, many people don't know this, you get to activate its effect to search. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and activate the effect of Savant Kepler. I think we are likely to see Dark Contract with the Gate, and of course, because a DDD monster was special summoned, that'll trigger the effect of Flame King Genghis. So Flame King Genghis allows him to special summon from the graveyard a copy of a DDD monster. He's going to get Necro Slime. To those of you saying, why on earth did he summon it in the extra monster zone? This is Master Rule 4. If only YGO Pro wasn't buggy. Oh, trust me, I would have much preferred to run this on Dueling Book, but can't wait 30 minutes for judge calls. Alright, so just deciding here what to do. One of the downsides to DDD is you have to have a big brain to play it, and of course that rules me out. It requires you to think several steps ahead in terms of combo lines. I mean, originally the DDD combo guide was like something like 40 pages. Cross Sheep certainly simplifies things. The deck is more than capable of summoning fusion monsters, and Cross Sheep is an easy way to turn those fusion monsters into reborns and then immediately trigger the effect of the fusion monsters afterwards. Unfortunately, it's going to eat a Solemn Judgment, and yeah, I probably can't think of a better Solemn Judgment target than that. There's the fusion spell. That would have spelled certain doom for any board facing down a Cross Sheep. Wow, and an Oleanades as well! Oh my gosh! I mean, this Paleozoic player just opened everything but a frog! Whew. To those of you saying the sound of your birds outside your window is very soothing, yeah, this is a particularly industrial area I live in, and all of the animals have come back in the last couple of months. Is this just going to be an Appaloosa board, or probably not? Alright, so through 3 or 4 pieces of interaction, the DDD player has found Dark Contract with the Gate, and there it is! The second Oleanades! God, I feel like this is me every single time I try to play a combo deck. Ah! Oh, gosh. Okay, yes, well, you found double Oleanades against double Contract. You found Canadia. I don't even know what I would attempt to do from this position. That's an anti-PogChamp. Now, we still have monsters we can activate. Necro Slime's in the graveyard. So we'll be able to perform a fusion summon and at least eat one of these bad boys. Oh, and Flame High King Genghis is a good one. Flame High King Genghis is one of the newer cards DDD has been afforded. If another DDD monster is normal summoned while you have this card, you get a DD in your graveyard and to special it. And then once per turn, when a spell or trap card or its effect is activated, you can just straight up negate it. It's kind of a boss in and of itself, but importantly, it has an attack stat high enough to not be run over by El Frago. We can't keep letting him get away with it. Ooh, and we are going to Gilgamesh. So some of you in chat called this extremely early. Gilgamesh is a nice little endpoint to these combos because unfortunately he does Xeno lock you. But I mean, you can't really ask for more than this card. When you link summon this card, you can't summon except for DDs for the rest of the turn, but you get to set scales. Both scales, that is, 2 DD pendulum monsters with different names from your deck and your pendulum zones, and take 1,000. And it looks like he's going to set Chaos King Apocalypse and Savant Thomas. Now, ideally, you want to set something like a Ragnarok, but Chaos King Apocalypse is new to me. You can banish 2 DDD monsters from your graveyard, special summon this card from your Pendulum Zone. Oh my god, that's incredible in this instance. If you go into a copy of High Genghis before doing so, it's very, very easy to proc this effect. So after he performs a Pendulum Summon, I think we'll likely see that. Now, Savant Thomas is extremely powerful as well. It lets you set a face-up DD Pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand, and of course, if you do that, you can then just recycle your copy of Kepler ad nauseum. It's 1 star, so otherwise it's very hard to pendulum summon. The birds are providing wonderful insight on navigating DDD combo lines. Chaos King Apocalypse has made it onto the field, and, you know, honestly, just eating 2 of these Paleozoics might be enough. You know, we get to walk over... We get to walk over 2 of them, and unless he draws exactly a frog, that's the end of the game. Oh, wow. Getting a lot of PMs all of a sudden. I may have spoken too soon about no drops. Alright. This is kind of the direction that DDD seems to be going, you know. While it was well known for its extremely involved synchro lines, you know, if you just summon Gilgamesh after your opponent's out of interaction and then pendulum summon a big guy, what are they really going to do about it? Does this deck actually pendulum summon? Yes, quite frequently. Not on purpose, you know, kind of incidentally, it's a good way to get cards that you've already spent your normal summon on out of your hand. Alright, so that was a pretty productive battle phase. I mean, we are Xeno-locked into DDD, so it's not like we can make anything to deal with this copy of Morella, but it's not like we'd be able to anyway, you know, it's immune to monster effects. So Swap Frog is, of course, the best draw here. Pot of Extravagance, of course, very good as well. Any draw spell. But really, you're just trying to fiend that swap. Swap turns on the entirety of the deck. It allows you to make Totally Awesome and start going from there. You can walk over the Gilgamesh. That set card you have complete information on. And he's thinking real quick about it. Honestly, I would consider going to game 2. It depends on what the card in hand is, but it's got to be something particularly specific in order to walk away with this one, and that does not look like it. Ugh, oh, wait, honestly, I don't understand that. It's got to be a hand trap, right? Because if it was something like a Ronin Totem or a Dupe Frog, you just make Totally Awesome right now, so that in your standby phase, you'd be able to make Lure, or Dupe Frog, as it were, which lures your opponent into hitting it. You can walk over the Gilgamesh. They only have conceivably 1 attack unless you proc the effect of Totally Awesome. Oh, things are looking bad from here. And he drew the Dark Contract with the gate. Oh, God. Okay, well, drawing the Dark Contract with the gate absolutely bungles the entire line. You can know that he has a copy of Savant Kepler in hand, so that'll be able to get, if he's playing it, routinely they only play 1, a second copy of the Fusion Contract, Swamp King. And from there, you can basically just win the game any way you want. You can see he's added a copy of, I believe that's Ghost to hand. Don't attack Gilgamesh. Uh-oh, is chat smarter than me? Impossible. If this Link Summon card is destroyed by battle with an opponent's attacking monster, you can special a DD monster from your extra deck. Okay, well, maybe don't attack this card. But you can at least negate it with Frog. Alright, so unfortunately, Savant Copernicus does not trigger on Flip Summon. So, alas... Yeah, this has got to absolutely be it. I mean, it's got to be Ash face down. Ash, Droll. I don't know what you're really expecting, but none of them are going to be able to stand up to a DDD combo. If I'm... Oh, wow. And Copernicus is so good here. It's a 1 scale. So you don't even have to expend your normal summon on anything you're aiming to do. Oh, wow. How many interactions did DDD play through? It played through Canadia, Double Oleanades, and Solemn Judgment. So 4? I mean, that's pretty impressive. Ooh, set card is a Cyberjar. Smart, chat. I don't think so. Could be Backjack face down. I kind of like that, you know? That's a little bit of a old world, grass version of the deck. Set a trap in Monster Zone. Not yet. We're not in the new OCG errata rules. Morphing Jar number 2. Chat, you are just a boon of knowledge on this morning. Damn you if this card is normal or special summon text. Alright, so we are actually unironically performing a Pendulum Summon right now. It's got to be a 1 and a 6, right? Maybe a 5? It's a 6, yeah. So Ghost it is. That's our Gilgamesh zone. Ghost, importantly, is a tuner. So we'll be able to go into Halqifibrax if we so desire. We'll be able to start making Synchro Summon lines. We've got a 4, a 1, and a 2. Which is, of course, 7 and makes Alexander if we so desire. But yeah, I think Chad is absolutely right here. The Paleo player only really had back row hate, and Gilgamesh is just so absolutely powerful versus a deck that's aiming to hit spells and traps, you know? People talk about how Heavy Storm Duster is really important in control mirrors, but this is like a reverse Heavy Storm Duster, right? Looks like we are going into a 7. I was incorrect. The 7 we are going into is not Alexander. It's Meteor Burst Dragon. So when Meteor Burst Dragon is summoned, you can target a special or a card in your Pendulum Zone and then special it. We'll be targeting Copernicus, of course, and because we haven't activated the effect of Copernicus yet, there we go. We're gonna pop off further, and Nosepath says, I have had enough. So that's going to be a quick and easy game 1, and oh my god, are they already done sighting? Wow, that was quick. Alright, so we're going to swap these again. Hopefully it works this time. But for those of you joining at home, Nosepass is on DDD. I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Percy has just swapped the individual names. So I think we're likely to see it either correct or remain broken for the remainder. We'll take a quick look at the individuals who have not found their opponent, and oh god, there's a lot. I'm hoping some of these are reporting matches to me and not just saying, where's my opponent? Okay. Alright, chat. We didn't get to see what that set card was. I think you've got some good ideas. Dice Jar. Could have been Dice Jar. What do you think the best possible flip monster it could have been is? Now, I know the decks, so I have a pretty good idea of what it is. But I want to hear your best guess as to what monster that was. I think Dice Jar was close. I think maybe Tindangle Drelth is a good question, too. We could go maybe Morphing Jar number 3. Maneater Bug. They're both playing DDD and Frog. Yes, of course. So if you're sideboarding from the DDD player's position, you actually don't have very many flexible slots. One of the big weaknesses of DDD is it's so reliant on opening like 5 cards with different names, all of which perform a linear action, that it's hard to board. Paleozoic Frog has a ton of slots that are not necessarily... Oh, important. Was that an immediate DC? Whoa! Well, I'm going to have to find out what's happening there, but... Oh no, what happened? Oh, give me 1 second, folks. Hopefully I'll receive some information about this, but it looks like the Paleozoic Frog player said, I am not interested in playing that one again, and scooped the entire match.